Hey everyone,
Hi.
Welcome back to Urban Sunrises.
I'm Melissa, he's Ryan.
We are excited to bring to you our debut RPG story, the Windstone Chronicles Volume 1, Adventure Under the Fang Rat Inn. This story is actually, we're going to introduce you to Winston Windstone, our innkeeper of the Fang Rat Inn. He's going to take you in a narrative adventure that kind of reads like one of his lost journals. Actually, if you really think about it, we found his lost journals and we are transcribing it and putting it into form for you. You can grab this PDF on DriveThruRPG right now, and the actual softcover book is going to be available later this month. So take a look for that if it's not already out. We're super excited, and this video is actually going to be a little bit of, we're introducing the story to you. We're going to walk through some of the thoughts that we had, and we're going to help the storytellers, the DMs, the GMs out there on how to better tell this story. So if you're a player, there's going to be a part where you got to cut off, can't watch any farther, but we're going to break into meeting Windstone for the very first time. Windstone is one of those lovable characters that everybody loves, but has that secret past to him that, what's the word?
Yeah, he's a little mysterious. He's just a little gruff, and that he's very wise. He's got a lot of experience. So everyone wants to come in and talk to him, but then also they're getting all of that sage advice and the things that no one else is going to tell you. Windstone will tell you.
Yep. One of the best parts of the PDF or the book that you're going to get is this beautiful hand-drawn map of the area. It shows where the Fang Rat Inn is, and then shows a lot of other things. So after the adventure, you can lead in your players or your characters into a whole story that's kind of surrounding this. And Volume 2 and Volume 3 and everything will expand kind of the map and take us into deeper places. So you're kind of getting a small point here, and it's pretty cool. It's really cool, actually. You're going to get a little history about the Fang Rat Inn. Fang Rats are, you'll get a little, of course, tokens and characters or print out. The Fang Rats are...
Nasty.
Yeah, name that. The Fang Rat Inn is actually named after them. If you see one, it's kind of a good thing. And they have that smile, that grin, that, that as storytellers, you drop your players right into the action. There's time for a tour of the inn later. Just get them straight into the action, and that kind of gets everyone at the table kind of moving and going. And so, the role-playing, that'll come a little bit later, but getting people into the action kind of gets the adrenaline going, and then everyone kind of gets involved in the story. So, Windstone leads you down into the cellar right away, and bam, 2 Fang Rats.
You're in it.
You're in it.
You're in the soup, so just throw them right in.
Windstone's cleared out all of the crates except for... roll a 1d4, 1d6 to find out how many crates, and all that's for the players. And we have, Windstone has, what's rare items, common items, what's here in the cellar. And actually, Melissa, do you want to tell a little bit about the elven crate?
Yeah, so there's a crate in the back covered by a tarp, and on the side of it, you'll find a seal from one of the 7 Elven Kings. Could be the seal of the 4th Elven King. They were a race of elves that were swallowed up by the Bronze Tyke Forest.
These loot tables in the book are, and a lot of the notes are, Windstone's hand notes to you. So these are actually like his inventory list that he left on the cellars.
And for me too, I love the way that it's written as a journal. So it's not, when you open some other modules, it's more textbook and you're just kind of reading the stats, and there's some flavor in there. But this is really kind of also a treat for the GM. So to kind of help just spark that inspiration and that storytelling, and that there's a little bit deeper here that you don't necessarily have to come up with all of that. And you can really just start to tell that story.
Yeah. And we've made this book generic, so it's not Dungeons and Dragons, it's not ICRPG, it's not Old School Essentials. It can be modified or changed for any of those. So whatever type of rule set you're using, we've made it so that this story just kind of flows right off the pages. But feel free to make it your own. One of the things that Melissa wanted to make sure was in the book was a page of notes so that you can make it your own. This isn't just our story that you're reading, this is your story that you're telling too. So take advantage of that. Now, for all you players out there, goodbye. See you later. Everything past this point is spoilers. All right. For all you game masters, dungeon masters, and storytellers out there, second half of this video is for you. Okay, so you've gone into the cellar, right? So here's the story. Like, Windstone has a rat problem. He needs the players to come in. We have some pre-gen characters that you can use, or add. If your party's a little new, or maybe they just need a little extra help, or maybe you're only running like 2 people. Throw one of these cool characters in. These 4 characters, we've left them unnamed, but we love them already. Like, we just decided to make some generic characters, and suddenly they became very cool. There's actually a 5th character that you may or may not be able to find elsewhere. If you take a look on maybe Patreon or somewhere else, you'll be able to find that 5th character, but she did not want to be involved in this book, so Windstone left her out. But she's a cool halfling warlock. And then you're going to move down through the grate into the Fangrat nest. Now this, we love the kind of, not everything is just a fighting thing. Some of it has some puzzle aspects to it. So there's 3 rat-sized holes in the Fangrat nest, and every 1d4 rounds, Fangrats come out. And they're going to keep coming out. The nest could have hundreds or thousands. And what you need to do, or what the players need to do, is actually stop the holes, like plug the holes. And then basically you stop the Fangrat problem in that. If you don't handle the Fangrat problem, then it becomes quite the problem.
They can come out so fast depending on your rolls, and all of a sudden you are just overrun by Fangrats, and then the timer's counting down, and there's 3 more coming at you. Yep. So yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
I was gonna say, we've actually kind of, after running it bunch of times, we kind of put in a rule that can be optional for you. If your players start to get overwhelmed and you just feel like this wasn't fair, or the dice aren't in your party, having a guts roll for the Fangrats, if like someone smashes a Fangrat with a hammer, like a really good roll, you can roll 1d4 and that many Fangrats run away into the next room. Which, talking about the next room, is the Shredder room. So this is kind of one of those things that kind of unique and kind of fun. The Shredder room is these magic constructs that our villain at the end here has summoned to guard him and what he is doing. And the Shredders will spin, and they're kind of like spinning tops on a very polished floor. So a
good way to beat them. So you can always hit them with a blunt object. They're really spinning way too fast for any sort of a sword or sharp object that spikes are going to grab at that sword. So blunt object's going to be best if you're just going straight combat, but the very best way is to knock them into each other. They're spinning so fast, and knocking them into each other is going to do a ton of damage, or even just outright break it. So, and then I think if you see the tips from Windstone, his little note in there, he seems to have lost a dwarven shield somewhere, not sure where, but it's of dwarven make and very, very sturdy. So,
but just remember, when you're running it, keep the Shredders in the doors, and then that way they're not going to be moving. Yeah, 1 exit, 1 entrance, and then that way it makes things a little even, because 4 Shredders running around would, yeah.
And don't forget too, one of the things about the Shredders that's I think interesting and neat, and always adds that next kind of level of doom, or if they hit a character, they have a chance to destroy their gear. Yeah. So if they actually make a hit on a character, then roll a d6, and if it's odd, destroy a piece of equipment. If it's even, then the player did not get their piece of equipment destroyed.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
And I don't know about you, but most first level characters, you're not going to have a lot of maces or giant hammers. They're going to go in there with their little short sword and think that they can take out the Shredders, and really that's not going to be possible. So really kind of figuring out that puzzle and how to get through it is the fun of it.
Exactly.
Least, what I love.
And we love being at the table, especially because we play with our daughters too, being open, hey, you know what, you have 1d4 rounds before more rats come out. Now you can tell in a little more narrative way, oh, you hear scratching and they're coming out of the holes, or the Shredders are spinning and they feel like they're stuck, but you're shared storytellers, you're all telling the story together. So don't let the rules and the mechanics get in the way of that.
Yeah.
So on to the true story, the true villain of what's going on under the Fangrat Inn. So Windstone's going to give you a little bit of history of our goblin hermit, who is down below, summoning something nasty. And I won't spoil all that here for you. Take a look at reading that narrative story that you can both read and play at the same time. So the goblin hermit, he's down below and this is one of our favorite drawings, actually. One of my favorite drawings for sure is the summoning circle that the Goblin Hermit is using. But this is the night that your players have entered. Now, he's found his last reagent that he needs, and the summoning is working. So if the players kind of enter, there's glowing green light. Everything is, any of your magic or divine character is going to feel real uneasy here. Like this is it. This is the suspenseful part of the story. And each time we've gotten to this part of the room, it's just chills.
Yeah.
And crosses the summoning circle, the demon will take control of them. And then, of course, they're strong folks, so your players, your friends, they can always try to break free of that with maybe a Constitution or a Wisdom or Intelligence saving roll, whatever you want to use there. But they will attack their friends. And the Goblin is always trying to complete the ritual. Like, that is above all the only thing he's trying to do. So he is, rolling a 1d4. Unless he gets interrupted, then you roll another 1d4 and see how long till the rituals gets finished. One of the things is the Goblin is holding a broken wizard staff with a crystal shard atop, and that is where the demon is imprisoned. So if, for any reason, one of your players and characters pick up that shard, the demon's going to take control. If they're holding that shard and it's dormant or, something, and they fall unconscious, or if the Goblin falls unconscious, the demon will bring back that person or that character back to full life, and then, do his will and try to complete the summoning so he can get out. So your players have to figure out a way to disrupt the ritual. They have to contain the crystal shard, and basically get the demon to go dormant. You fail and the demon gets summoned, he's in a weakened state, not going to attack the players. He's going to just kind of run off and start growing in another part of the world. What we love about telling stories is if your players decide to run away or not do something, or if the demon gets free or something, that still happens. Even though the players aren't directly involved, that demon is growing and growing and growing. So eventually later down your campaign or your story, they're going to run into that demon, but he's going to be more powerful. Or the Fang Red Inn is going to be under his influence and there's dark things going on, or who knows? Like that's the fun of it. So, just because they may fail at stopping the ritual or stopping the summoning, that's not the end of the story. That's more. So don't ever think of failure there. It's just the story moving along. So
yeah, I love that. I love that no matter what the outcome is, you just roll with it. That is super fun and makes it exciting and brings the players back, and probably you too, back to the table the next week or the next chance that you get, because you just want to know more.
Yep.
What's happening next?
Exactly.
I love that.
So we have where do we go from here? Of course, we have a cool loot table for when they win, like the Goblin Stash. There's some really cool items in there. One of I think my favorites was the healing spell candle. You light the candle, and then for 1d4 rounds, you figure out how long the candle's lit, and it heals the party. So that's kind of fun and cool. The Goblin does have a weak fireball spell that he can cast 3 times. So we kind of have some stats in there for that as well under our monster section. But feel free to do that as you want. But giving level 1 characters a full fireball spell right to their faces probably won't end up well. Okay, who's staying at the inn? For the next few pages of the book, we kind of have all the things you're going to need to run it. You need like the elf clerics feeling a little uneasy. Some pilgrims along the pilgrim trail are overdue. He wants to go check it out. The dwarven hunter, something's been overhunting the deer in the area. He kind of wants you to help him kind of find out what's going on there. The sly-looking fellow in the back corner has found kind of a map to a hidden jewel out in the desert. And then our elf wizard needs a herb that is way up north in the forest, and she needs some help, going up there. If you decide to join us on Patreon, we actually kind of flesh out those stories, and you can check those out and kind of get some more information about the characters. But you don't need to. Make it your own. Make these stories cool. FAQ, a little help from Windstone on how to run this game. Kind of the advice that we've given you here, but then, of course, a little bit more as well. And then we do have printable areas for all of the cellar, the shutter room, the Fang Rat Inn room, kind of put as a campfire, so that you're all huddled around a campfire. You're all something to look at while telling this story. We also have printable tokens that you can print out and cut out as well if you like to play with miniatures. If not, like this story, you can tell, Theater of the Mind, you can tell it in Roll20 or in another VTT, kind of any way you want. So take this, make it your own, but there are some things here in the PDF for you to use. And then, of course, we give you a word from Melissa and I, a little story on how this kind of came about. And then, of course, a teaser for volume 2 and what you'll find there. So we really hope you enjoyed this. This is our debut RPG story. So, I mean, we're super excited about it. We hope you are too. You can find us at UrbanSunrises@gmail.com if you want to email us any questions or kind of like talk about the story or even share a cool experience with you. You can also find us on Instagram and YouTube as well. And then, of course, on Patreon if you want to follow us and join us up there.
Love it.
Yep. So until next time, until volume 2, we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.